Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where I'll be doing technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you want to get daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, and there are lots of them right now, definitely check out my link down in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. Well, Netflix was down once again today, and you can see the news around Netflix, and that's why this thing is down. But despite all that, what market did today, you can see Dow was down 0.45%. You can see also advancing 42% nearly and declining 55%. Nasdaq slightly down 0.14%, S&P down 0.35%, and Russell going pretty flat for the day. 11 sectors. Technology led the way on top, industrials, and pretty much everything in deep red. Now, stock market map. What do we have here on stock market map? Pretty much the same story. On the downside, what are those 550 calls, guys? And I'll get into Tesla when we get to Tesla charts. And this is why you do not go and follow somebody just because they're posting bunch of charts saying that whales are buying this and that, because you can take those as just a guidance, but you cannot just trade based on those flows. Meta was down nearly 1%, Google down 2.35%, Apple down 0.28%, but Microsoft was up 1.66%. So it's pretty much what I call it here. It's just balancing within these mega cap stocks. Broadcom was up nearly 3%, Nvidia up. They had that news, the China news, up 1.74%, but everything else, healthcare, you can see there's lots of red on your screen. You can see on the stock market map, household stocks like PG, even Walmart, and there was a fantastic trade. We're still holding a lot of puts on Walmart. I'm going to show you guys this play. Here's another one that I took just a couple days ago. LMT, that thing, hitting out of the park, and this thing also paid big money today. And now let's get right into, since we're going to talk about it, let's talk about Tesla, guys. So on Tesla stock is down 3.39%. At one point it was down even more, nearly 4%, came all the way down to this 50-day moving average 435, and then we saw that initial bounce, and it's still trading. If you look at my screen, below 445, rising 5-day moving average. Now, people that were saying over the weekend like, oh, the call flows are just too bullish. SPY and Tesla, they're buying 500, 550 calls. They bought at 455. And we're just going there. Monday, we're just going to fly. Now, fast forward, guys. Yes, we all can use the data, especially what whales are buying. But can we actually depend on those? Those are just guidance, like, okay, they're buying calls, maybe, possibly go up, but would I be chasing here because they bought calls? Absolutely not. And look at what happened if you actually bought near the top on Friday just because you saw those posts that whales are buying 550 calls, and let me just jump in without even looking if you're jumping into the water or fire or whatnot. What happened today? Boom, everything is toast. Even the ones that whales were buying, what was it, this week expiration, it's all toasted, right? Even if it goes back up, it's not probably gonna pay because it's far away right now. So that is why, I have tried everything. These people that are making videos on YouTube recently, and they talk about these flows and all that, it was there before. I have used every goddamn thing that we have out there, and trust me, end of the day, if your brain is not working, if you cannot read the chart, if you cannot trade like a pro, you're not going to make money. And that's the bottom line, because you're relying on somebody else, nobody's gonna make you money, especially when you're relying on a machine. You have to trust yourself, your brain, or someone who's trustworthy or trading for a long time. They know what the heck they're doing. This was totally a trap. Now, can it go higher? Absolutely, it can. But people that actually went long Friday, watching those Wells buying, 500, 550 calls, they're down today. Pretty big, right? They bought, millions worth of calls. So that's why you can use that, as a guidance, but do not go and trade off of that. Even I don't trade off of that. If not, I'm not sure, and I'm looking at things, and it's like overbought, and Wells are buying. Let them buy it. I don't care. So Tesla, what happened today? Well, a big drop. Now the 50-day moving average holding 435. Just below that, we also have support at 432, 424 the 20-day, and then right down here at 412. If this thing come tomorrow continues, move to the upside, there will be resistance at 445. We have a gap from gap down today, 452 almost. So that will act as a resistance, and over that you're going to see 464.75 here on Tesla, and then we can talk about more upside. On AMD, it's up 1.44%, so nice little bounce today. And you can see, this thing is just forming this bear flag pattern and not really going anywhere. So AMD, until it gets over 226, I would not be really bullish about it. And if this thing falls below 217, it can definitely come down to 206 to close this gap all the way down here, and possibly can go down even more to this massive gap that we have all the way down here. And that's why so far this thing is trying to hold here, because if this thing does not hold here, it can come down rapidly. And we also have the 20-day crossing below the 50-day moving average, and that is typically a signal. On Meta, it's down 0.98%, so down nearly 1%, but it's holding over 664 and looks like it's forming this bull flag pattern again here. You can see this was the last bull flag pattern, the consolidation here, and then we got the news, and then this thing gapped up, and now just consolidating here for past 2-3 days. So as long as it's over 664, watch out for a move up to this 50-day moving average, 674, and then 682. If this thing comes under 664, there will be now support right down here, the 5-day moving average, which is sitting at, let's see where it's sitting, right here, 657. Below that, watch out for 648 gap fill reversal, which can act as a support, really good support, and top of this balance range right here. And that should be a nice buying opportunity as long as the support holds on Meta. On Amazon, stock is down 1.15%. So Amazon also pulling back, not even holding 228 50-day moving average, and looks like it's heading towards this gap 222. So that's going to be the next big level to watch. But if this thing rises back up, watch out for the resistance at 232. If we can get over that, we can possibly fill the gap just under 234, and then there will be resistance at 236. And over that, we can talk about upside. But as of right now, this thing pulling really hard, and looks like we might be coming down a little bit more here on Amazon. And here's my X account, and if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow. And quickly, I want to share some trade ideas with you guys that we took recently, and it was really fantastic. And this is pretty big position right now. You can see Walmart 200 contracts. This is where I added even more, and you can time it. You can see on Friday it was trading at all-time highs, and that's where we got in. This is another one, LMT. We got in at 440. 470 calls, and today pretty much going in the money. Fantastic trade on that play. We sold some of the Walmart today, but still holding a lot of those puts. This one was even better. December 3rd, they had that news came out on Microsoft. I was live in my Discord, and we took these calls. 500 strike on Microsoft, and fast forward what happened today, and even before that it was already up. It was a really nice setup, so we took profit on this play. Now, if you're really serious about trading and you want to do this, and if you're not serious, just watching my video, just ignore it. Ignore this part. Don't even watch it. It's not worth it. Only people that actually want to do this full time, they want to make money, they want to learn, and this is what they want to breathe. This is what they want to eat, and this is where they want to sleep. Trade, 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 and make money. If you're into that, definitely check out my link down in the description. Otherwise, just ignore it, guys. On Microsoft, it's up 1.63%. So you guys saw that play. And this is where that news came out, I think, right here. And yes, you can see 12 03 2025. And that's where we got in. here on Microsoft. And that is a 15, 16 bucks to the upside that we caught on this play and still holding some runners. But this thing was fantastic. And you can see now it's trading at 491. We got up to 492. And once again, what happened? Well, here comes the rejection because 492 is a huge area that we need to break and hold on Microsoft. And then you're going to see more upside potential. But right now, it's not happening. So 492 breaks, it's gonna go and hit 500 plus 4.91 to close the gap on top. As of right now, it's holding at 490. Critical support 20-day. If that gives up, it'll possibly come down more, maybe into this 5-day moving average 485, and then there is a gap from today 483. On Apple, stock is down 0.32%. So Apple was another player that we took and we sold already. But look at the dump off that's happening since I started showing you guys that monthly time frame is hitting the upper trend line, and from there the pullback occurred, and now it's holding 277. Today actually made a new low, especially for this week starting today. We got a doji type of candle, came down to 276, but at the end of the day holding 277, which was this previous rejection area, now acting as a support. So 277 gives up, will possibly come down to 275, rising 20-day moving average, and below that 272, and then the game starts. This thing can come down rapidly down to 265. But because it's holding 277, I would say this is not where I would be going short anymore. It's holding after this pretty decent pullback. If this thing rises back up, watch out for the resistance at 280. Over that, watch out for 281.54, and then it can actually go back into blue skies again, and possibly will go and retest previous all-time highs, or maybe even make a brand new all-time high at that point. But if there's something that is happening in the market pulls back, everything pulls back, this thing will likely to come down at some point and close this gap at 264. It's just probably not going to happen this week. On Google, stock is down 2.31%. Now, a couple days ago, I talked about it that I'm expecting Google down here 303. That's coming. Whether you like it or not, that's going to happen. If you're chasing here, it's going to happen because huge gap up and go. The stock is extremely overbought and now it's pulling back. Same thing I said about Apple, that it's hitting that monthly trend line. What's going on now? Apple gave back like what, 13 bucks? That's pretty big, right? On a big stock like Apple. This thing gave back how much? Quite a bit. 328 down to 311 today. Fortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately for the bulls, it's holding 314 even into closing. But it's under the 5-day moving average, 318.31. So if this thing opens up on a gap down below 314, guess what's going to happen? 309 and then 303. And that's where the money will be made. So just because these people were saying 340, 350 calls, and I'm not buying Google, I'm gonna buy it when it hits 350 and all that. Well, it's just not the way it works. You can see Tesla, you can see Apple chasers. They were actually chasing 300 calls. What happened? It's down when things are overbought. And I'm not just saying this because people are doing that in the market, chasing. It's just a nature of humans, especially people that are new into the market. They would go in, buy something, and then they would flip and buy something else just because they're seeing something online, and that's what's reflecting in their personal life, where they think like, oh, this is where the money is, right? That's not just how it works. You need experience, you need technical analysis, you need overbought, oversold. You need to watch these things. If it's overbought, you don't buy it. If it's oversold, you don't short it, right? So this thing, only thing I can say, it's still not a long, and this is actually a short. But would you be going short here? Absolutely not. It was short before, even on last couple of sessions. It was pretty much, if you had a chance and you were in here on Google shorting, you got a pretty decent reward today, right? So I think what's going to happen on a gap down below 314, it'll come down to 309 and then close the gap at 303. And that is where this thing is going. Now, I could be wrong. In the short term, there could be a bounce. Some news comes out. I cannot control that. But the chart is saying that it's going to come down here very soon. But if there is some catalyst, this thing gets over 318, it can push towards 320, 324, maybe even this high 328. And that's all I can tell you guys. We had really low volume today, and this thing dumped. So I think the dump can continue if this thing falls below 314 in next couple sessions. On Nvidia stock, it's up 1.73%. So since Nvidia broke out of this downtrend, I think I should remove this completely, right? And what happened today, guys? This is a nice move to the upside. I mean, it's looking really good now. Nvidia had that news. This thing closed over 184, and it's really looking good. We even retested, pretty much came all the way back down here, and this is actually a 4-hour chart. So we need to go back to the daily chart. So you can see we actually came back into 184. If you look at like something like 15-minute, as a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys. Let's go back to 15-minute here, and you guys can see that. So what happened here? We had that initial pop, and then that drop came in right here. And then this thing consolidated for a few minutes and then went higher, and we closed well over 184. So what did I say before? That I'm expecting Nvidia to bounce because how this thing is just holding up here, and there is a massive gap on top. There's a lot of calls that were sitting here on top, and some of these other names, even though these calls were being bought, who knows, that could be a hedge, right? So here on Nvidia, over 184, watch out for continuation up to 190, and we almost got there today. If this thing does not hold 184, I mean, you can see technically we made a higher high. These were just, where this thing got this higher high, but then came back again, was not really getting over 184. But why it looks good? Because it's over 184. So we need that continuation tomorrow, and especially into FOMC on Wednesday. And we got a bunch of other data coming this week. So 184, that's what you need to watch. And then if you want to watch something else, I would say just watch this. That's about it. Just watch this line here, this trend line. If this thing is over right here 182.43 to 184, that's bullish. If this thing falls below that, and I know it looks kind of like a bear flag here, if I can draw another line, you'll see that it looks like a bear flag, definitely. But again, Nvidia can definitely do it. When everybody's watching one thing, usually plays out to the other side, right? So yes, just like the same thing as AMD, but if this thing is holding over 184, this is not AMD. It can do it. It can go up to 190 to even 200. So watch out. But if this fails right here, this trend line and this 184 range and below this trend line, then definitely this bear flag will play out and this thing will be going lower. On Broadcom, it's up 2.78%. So just like I said yesterday, we had a massive gap up and go today. And look at this thing where it closed, guys, over 400. So we do have earnings coming out. That's on, I think, Wednesday or Thursday here on Broadcom, and this thing already popped. So this thing, there's not much to it, right? You can't really do much here because this thing is already up quite a bit today. 400 halts, watch out for continuation. We actually produced another brand new all-time high, 407 today, I think. Yep. So this thing can go up to 407, maybe even possibly 410 to 420. But with earnings coming up, there's not much to it. There's not much you can do. This thing falls below that critical support, like right here around 403 to 402, which is actually under that level right now. Then we might see this gap getting filled right here at 393. And then we can talk about more downside, maybe into that 387 zone where we got rejection before. So Netflix, another red day, and it's a big one, 3.44%. But I think this is where fantastic opportunity is right now on Netflix, because if this thing rises back up and goes and even retraces the daily 200 SMA, we have a huge upside potential. Now, if we're buying weekly calls or even buying shares that you want to get out next day or next week, you don't have the money, don't try this at home. Why? Because this thing is on a strong downtrend. You gotta wait. You gotta let this thing work its way up, right? So you gotta wait. We came all the way down to the next critical support, which is right down here. We didn't quite make it all the way down there, but it was pretty close, right? And then we closed pretty much, near a low of the day, just above the low right here. So if this thing rises back up, where this thing can potentially come up to? Well, definitely 100. And that's the level to watch. And over that, there might be more upside. But as of right now, let's just keep it simple. Critical support 93 to 94. Previous rejection now can act as a support. And the resistance will be right up here near 100. If we can clear 100, then watch for more upside. We'll talk about that in another video. But if this thing remains below 100, watch out for this critical level to hold right here. And this thing is getting really, really oversold. Just like what happened with MSTR. Just giving you guys an example. What happened? What was it? 155, 157, and then 190 plus came, right? Within just 2 days. So do not count Netflix out. And if you're new money short and trying to short this right now, all I can say, good luck to you. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys.